Well, the Washington State Cougars won 24 games this year, and the big story was the changing of the guard on the bench. Dick Bennett handing it over to his son Tony. A lot of folks said, how's this going to work? Well, obviously, it's worked very well up in the Palouse. Jim Watson helps us tell the story about how a dad taught a son about basketball and about life.
I think I have some of his fiery competitiveness. He's a full-blood or 100% Italian, so I think I've got kind of that fiery Italian side.
Though there are many factors which influence the manner in which a man coaches, just as in life, the greatest inspiration generally comes from the person whom they themselves learn the game. For more than 3 decades, Tony has had a front row seat in the Dick Bennett Seminar of Life.
I guess he instilled so much into me, trying to be a fighter and an underdog. When I played for him at Wisconsin Green Bay and even coached under him, just watching him, how tough-minded you have to be and your team has to be in order to succeed.
Dick Bennett was raised in the blue-collar region of Upper Wisconsin, where as the 6th man at Ripon College, he first learned the lesson that the whole is stronger than the sum of the parts.
I learned to value the resources we had. They weren't as great or as many as some other schools perhaps, and I certainly didn't have the physical ability or even skill level that many of my opponents did, but I somehow learned to maximize what I had, and we were taught that. We were taught that we could come together and really be special, and I have believed that and rejoiced in doing that whenever possible.
Following his playing days, Dick would coach for 35 years in his home state, culminating with a Final Four appearance in 2000 with the Wisconsin Badgers. After moving to Washington and rebuilding the Cougars program, Dick stepped aside at the conclusion of last season. It was now Tony's turn. He has proven to be more than up to the challenge, having learned from one of the greats as both an assistant and a son.
Here's a guy who's probably going to be a Hall of Fame coach, and when he'd make a mistake with his players, he'd tell them, he'd say, I'm sorry, forgive me, I was wrong. And when you see someone who has that much knowledge and that much experience admit that maybe he crossed the line and was too angry at him or just made a mistake, that was one of the best, to me, witnesses or testimonies about what really matters. And I really take that with me, and I think it's made an impact on a lot of the young men he's coached.
Good stuff, Jim Watson. Thank you very much. And, of course, Tony Bennett not only gaining attention here in the West, the Pac-10, but nationally for his great job he's done with the Cougars. We're just moments away. Washington State. We'll see you in a minute.